Hey, we're live. How's it going, guys? We are back. Deb and Will, and I guess Knolly too, since he's in the picture. Guys, I'm so excited to chat because it was about a year ago or so today that we first spoke for the first time, and you were actually sitting pretty much in the same place you're sitting right now. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like stepping into the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it was. I remember Knolly texted me and said, "Hey, I want you to talk to my friends. They're on vacation right now, but let's get on the phone and chat with them, or get on a Zoom and chat with them for a little while." And we did, and lots gone down in your guys' life and business since then, right?
Oh man,
yeah.
Tons. Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you, Deb and Will, catch us up? Like, tell us like what's happened in the last year.
Wow, I'll let you go first, Deb.
So
First
of all,
but first tell the story about how I sent you an email in May.
Oh yeah.
And then you waited until you were on vacation
Right.
to
All right, yeah, I'll set Deb up for this. This is kind of cool. I've been following Knolly, drank a little bit of his Kool-Aid, buying a little of his Kool-Aid, and he sent me this email in May 29th. I won't forget. And it said, "Hey, Will, you got it." He's dripping on me. You got to check this out. It's a game changer, and it'll change your life and your family's life. And I thought, man, that's big, but I'm busy. And so Deb and I come in August and spent this time, and I think it was like August 7th, August 9th. And I said, Deb, let's check out, Knolly. She watches Knolly stuff, and she knows Knolly. She's kind of sipping the Kool-Aid. I'm gulping it. And we watched Brent Go video, or a video, or maybe a couple. And she shut the computer down and said, "It's a no-brainer." And I go, "Well, wait. We're not going to jump. We need to pray about it, think about it." She goes, "This is a no-brainer." And I thought, man, and she said the same thing. This could be a game changer and a life changer. And I thought, but, it's Knolly. I mean, he's trying to sell us something. It's too good to be true.
Yeah.
And I texted Knolly thinking, is he going to answer? He did. And I said, "Well, Knolly, can we talk?" Boom, he called me, and I thought, all right, so this is really Knolly. Yeah. And I said, well, we're thinking about diving in. I mean, and I know it took you a while. I think, was it 90 days, or it took you a while?
it took me a couple of days, a few weeks. How long did it take me, Kevin?
Before you actually would join eXp?
Yeah.
I mean, it took a couple phone calls. We had to make a couple phone calls just to get you to look. And then I might have got on an airplane. And as soon as I got on the airplane, you're like, "What's up? Are we doing this or not?" And I said,
Yeah.
It was kind of like the same thing. When I watched it, I was like, I'm doing this, but am I crazy?
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
And I was thinking the logistics as an independent. Why would I give up my independence to join not a franchise but a platform? I mean, I'm 100% commission. Now I'm going to give $16,000. Why would I do that? But then it's like
agents.
Plus I had agents. How am I going to tell them? I mean, and then it's kind of like what Brent Grove said. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I thought, man, and that Knolly and I are talking. I said, I need to talk to some other people, man. Like, you're good. You're too good. Let me talk to some people that I don't know. And then we had that teleconference with you, a Zoom meeting, and we're like, we're doing it, and we'll work out the logistics on the back end with my agents and all that. And we didn't take very long, and we just dove in, and boom, here it is a year later. And we're joking on Facebook, "Hey, now y'all want to come up?" We're joking, and he takes us up on. Here he is 1 year later. We're kidding. We love the guy, and here he is. A year ago, we talked on the phone. A year later,
the same cabin.
And here he is,
cabin.
hanging out with us. Really cool. And then hanging out with you.
And here's the cool thing about this too, Kevin, and for those of you watching, Deb and Will, they had still do Lake Life Realty.
Yeah.
Lake Life Realty, and they do Kingston, Marble Falls, all that area.
Horseshoe Bay,
Lake
LBJ. Yep.
They had 18 agents on, at independent brokers, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of independent brokers that have joined eXp. And so it's like, the question is always, why would I do that? And here's a living example. 1 year later, Will is right on the edge of Icon. He's just 1 or 2 deals away. He's going to get Icon this year. He's got an agent in his group that's already hit Icon, which for those of you that don't know, at eXp, when you hit Icon, you get all $16,000 of stock in the company. Okay, now it's vested for 3 years. But imagine those that hit Icon last year, Will, when our stock was $8 a share, now almost $40 a share.
Yeah.
That 16,000 that they got is worth almost 80 grand right now. Okay,
Crazy.
so this is the company. People tell me all the time, "Well, I get 100%." I'm saying, why would you settle for 100%? At eXp, you can make more than 100%.
Yep.
So yeah, they're super stoked. Debbie, tell them your portion of it.
My portion of it. Okay, he gets an email from Knolly in May that says this is life changing, but he waits till we come to August, and then it takes me to say this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, you know.
Husbands, listen to your wives.
Yeah, husband, let's do. But tell them the responsibility that's taken off your shoulders and basically
Oh
both
my
of us.
gosh, I was like admin, everything in the office,
The tech person.
tech person, compliance officer, everything. And then eXp comes in, and this stack of work that was always on my desk just went away. I mean, it has changed it has freed me up.
Yeah.
And, you know, I still help agents that get stuck on Sky Slope or whatever, you know, but it's so different because now it's going somewhere else. And it frees me up to help him.
You know, it's one of the things I love about this company that I've shared with a lot of people over the 2 years or so that we've been here is that, you know, you don't have to, this platform that eXp provides to us, and I really do view it as a platform. It
Right.
gives us the opportunity to operate as, I'll call it independence, right? We can run our business and our brand the way we see fit. Just
Right.
when you actually own the brokerage yourself. But what it does is it lifts off the responsibility and the liability, and in a lot of cases, a lot of the mundane work that we have when we actually own the brokerage. Now, the cool thing is, yeah, we don't own it, but we get opportunities of ownership, you know, through the stock plans, as well as we have the same financial upside. In fact, in a lot of cases, it's a much bigger upside, right? Because when you're an independent brokerage or even a real estate team that operates sort of like an independent brokerage, you're confined to your geographical area, right? So if you want to go across town or across the state in a lot of cases, you got to go open another brokerage. You got to go hire more people. And then you got to take on all this risk. Whereas this model, it's plug and play, and we get to do it. It's so much easier, so much faster with all of the upside and none of the risk and back end work. And I'm so glad to hear that it's worked out that way for you as well.
Well, one of the cool things about, people that choose real estate, and it's kind of like real estate chooses you. I still haven't met anybody that grew up wanting to be a realtor. If you're out there, please email me, call me. I want to meet you. Real estate, people that are realtors, it's a job or a career of opportunity, something happened in your life. And most realtors get in it and they treat it as like a hobby as a realtor. But we are in business and we are entrepreneurs. And with eXp, it gives us that true wealth building capability. Wealth building, you hear me? Wealth building. I know a lot of realtors that have been with their company for 20, 30 years. When they're done, they have zero, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing from nothing leaves you nothing. And with eXp, we have Icon. So if you do your 16,000 cap and do 20 more transactions as a top producer normally would easily, you get your $16,000 back in stock. It's basically at 100%. And then revenue share. Revenue share, that means off the top that comes. And so you have some people or a team, you're making money with the revenue share right off the bat. So that's true wealth building that you do not get with the traditional real estate model. And like you were talking about, all the mundane things independents do or owners, you have to worry about attraction and then retention. How are you going to keep your top dogs? With eXp, it's done for you. And I love the leverage capability. And if we're not leveraging, then you're just working it too hard. eXp gives us all those things like team building. You want to build a team, you can cross borders and now go across the pond. International. And that to me is priceless. And nobody else offers that. And so it's just one of those things it's a no-brainer. You look at the model, talk to some cool people in the know that are doing this, either the franchise people or the independents that are jumping ship, big names, and it's like a no-brainer.
Let me tell you another thing is that Deb and Will have had 100% retention with their group, 100% retention, and they're growing. So one of the things I thought about was when I joined was, okay, am I going to be able to keep my clients?
Right.
You know, eXp, what's eXp? How has that been for you in terms of your production?
Well, there's we live in a resort area, and I'd say mostly retired people. And I was talking to a custom home builder in Horseshoe Bay. I mean, this guy is like, a minimum house is like $300 a foot and up. And he said, hey, I see that you joined eXp. I go, you know about, this guy's like 70. And he goes, oh yeah, I know about eXp. They're state of the art. That's where it's going. And I said, you know about eXp? And he said, Will, that is a brilliant move, because that is, and he even said, that is the Netflix and Amazon.coms of the future. And I thought, how do you know that? And he goes, you got to be with it. And, I'm 61 and I'm thinking, I thought I was pretty cool with it, which I am. But this guy at 70 knew eXp. And I thought, wow, if this guy knows it in our little remote, little rural area, people in the know, and I tell them it's not a franchise, and others, they're like, why'd you join? I go, man, I have a global team now to help sell your property, and the resources available that most independents will never get unless you just spend all your money and headaches and Monday paying for the technology and then all the other things and admins and assistants. eXp has 600 paid employees at our fingertips. We have an accounting department. I mean, leverage. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I'm a little passionate about this.
I could tell a little bit. That's one of the things I think that just as agents can be overlooked but it should never be understated for those of us talking with folks who aren't yet at the company is, you think about that when you're in a franchise system or an independent or like a one location, you've got, say, one person who's in charge of the commission checks. You might have one person who's in charge of, say, the technology, right? And sometimes they're the same person when it's an independent.
Right.
And then, God forbid, there's like a 3-day weekend or a 4-day weekend and a check came back from the title company incorrect and it's got to be redone, but the person's already left because it's 4:30 on Friday.
Right.
And then now you're waiting 3, 4, 5 days to get your problem resolved. And then it might be over a week before you get paid as an agent, or 2 weeks in some cases. And when in here, 55 hours a week, our support staff's there in eXp world just waiting to help us, and we can just walk in. It doesn't matter if it's the time of the month where we have to close out our books. It doesn't matter if it's a 3-day weekend. It doesn't matter if the broker's out on a smoke break. Like, none of that matters because there's a whole support staff there for us 55 plus hours a week, and it's just so amazing to have that at your fingertips.
Right. And the cool thing, people ask me, well, Will, you're not the broker of record, so do I going to have access to you? Not only do you have access to me, but in Texas, because we're so big now, we have 5 brokers that people can get into the broker room and get their questions answered right then and there. I mean, you talk about access, and some of the other companies, I know there's one company, I won't mention KW's name, I won't do that. They never meet the broker, or they just don't get that contact and connection that eXp provides. I mean, to me, especially if you're a new agent, you need support. And speaking of that, 50 hours of training every week, and then the icons, the top dogs in our company, have all kind of training. You're learning from the best of the best, and eXp is attracting and getting the best of the best, and they're giving back. So cool.
I think part of the other, and this is not a shot at KW, this is just part of their business model and one of the differences. And so, if it matters to you, it matters to you, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you mentioned the broker support, like at KW, and other models too, but KW specifically, I'll speak that language because I was there for so long. The broker's there because legally they have to be. Like, trust me, if they could operate the franchises without a broker, they would. But the reality, so like, they're very underappreciated, and therefore they get folks that'll work for the low end of the income, if in that pay range for that position. Whereas at eXp, it's absolutely part of the value proposition is how valuable and how much of a resource that the brokers are to us as agents and salespeople. And so therefore we're able to pull from a better pool. Like when you pay more, you're able to select a better pool. It's not to say that KW brokers aren't amazing, because I know some really good ones, but overall, when you look at the quality and the caliber of brokers that we have, it's pretty amazing. And a lot of that has to do with because they're a huge part of what we do as salespeople in this company.
Right.
I mean, I'll throw this just short piece out is that, I was with Keller Williams for 10 years. Absolutely love the company. And when Kevin, when you reached out and Fred reached out to me, those that don't know, Kevin Kaufman's my sponsor here at eXp. But when you reached out to me, I was like, not just no, but hell no. Yeah. Like, I don't want to, because I loved Keller Williams. But I will say this, the revenue share, which I didn't quite understand even when I joined, my revenue share check last month was 100 times larger than my profit share at Keller Williams. Now, the reason why, let me say it again, 100 times larger. The reason why that's significant is because I was at Keller Williams for 10 years. I've been here at eXp for 18 months, and I'm earning 100 times more.
That's huge.
I mean, it absolutely. You said no. You said no brainer, Deb.
I said no brainer.
And that's exactly how I.
And that revenue share, how many transactions? How much grinding did you have to do?
0. I'm on vacation right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cool thing about. I mean, that was Deb's our plan. Is like a 5-year plan. I don't want to grind. And with revenue share, you just find a couple of cool people that you want to be part of your team, be it in New Mexico, San Antonio, Arizona, wherever. You can do that. And we still love the hands-on process of meeting with buyers and sellers. But in 5 years or less, I want to pass that over and still make, that's called wealth building, the same amount, 10, 15, 20, 30,000 or more a month with rev share. That's huge. That's huge. And that's not grinding and putting up with sellers who are yellers and buyers who are liars. Come on.
Yeah.
Can I get an amen?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like, a lot of folks go, well, yeah, but I got in real estate to sell real estate. And you know what? That's cool. You can come to eXp and just sell real estate. There's a lot of benefits. Like, we talked about the Icon Agent Award. In some cases, I know some agents that have now been paid north of 7 figures just because they operate their high producing real estate sales business at eXp. And by the way, they accidentally tripped over a couple people that wanted to join them at eXp. So unfortunately, they're stuck with some residual income too, even though they didn't want it.
Right.
But the reality is in other systems and whether it be a franchise or in an independent model, if you're not the first person there, if you're not the person that writes a big check and risks your capital, risks your money, like you don't get the opportunity of the upside. You don't get the opportunity of the upside. You don't. But here, we all have the same opportunity for the upside. There's no difference who you are when you join. You can join today, you can join tomorrow.
Right.
You can join 4 years ago or 10 years ago. It doesn't matter. We all have the same opportunity.
Right.
I mean, speaking of that, I have a good friend of mine that joined KW in 1983. Yeah, I was 13 years old when he joined. I'm 50 now. And his profit share check is about what I make after 18 months at eXp. He's been at KW since 1983. How long is it? 37 years.
Wow.
37 years. And I'm almost outpacing him in less than 2 years. So this is something that you've got to at least look at, right?
Yep.
Well, you got to at least look at what you're passing up, because more and more, especially with independent brokerages, you talked about it, Will, at the beginning, your agents are going to start looking at these models, whether you look at them or not.
Right. And that was one of my big things for the company. I thought, I'm going to take this back. I mean, we're doing it. This bus is going to be leaving. And I had some of the younger agents. I had a 21-year-old and some younger 20s and 30s. And I thought, man, they're going to do this forever. They do it for 20, 30 years. They're going to have something. They're going to have probably $1 million worth of stock, especially in 1 year. Our stock's gone up from $8 when we joined to over 40. And it's going up. It's phenomenal. And that's most people in real estate, most realtors never think real exit strategy or retirement, because historically speaking, realtors don't retire. They die.
I was going to say, Curtis, my man Curtis Johnson always says, most realtors expire, they don't retire.
Expire, that's right.
it.
And so with eXp, we have an exit strategy. And I think everybody that does real estate needs to have that. Even if they're 20, you got to be thinking.
Yeah.
But here I'm 61, so yeah, retirement or an exit strategy is definitely on the forefront of my mind. But still, there's a lot of young people that are doing this, and they don't really think about that until they see the program, or they talk to somebody, Knolly or myself, or you, Kevin, and see that, hey, there is an exit strategy. And that's part of the wealth building. Because if you're with anybody else, a chain, a franchise, you can bust your butt and you're not an owner. You're making money for the owners. With eXp, it's an agent-centric company. Right off the bat, you join, you get some stock, so you're an owner. And you can build your own team as little or as small as you want, and you have all the perks and all the things of a big company or franchise for a fraction of the cost. $85 a month? Nothing. That's nothing to start a business that you can make 6 figures, 7 figures, all up to you. How much work you want to do.
Yeah, it's
And
insane.
it is insane. And I just wish I would have known this when I was 20. Because now, if I was 50 Knolly's age, I'd be on the beach or in the mountains just chillaxing and watching my revenue share my stock.
Yeah, that's my biggest regret, and I think it's most people's biggest regret is that didn't get here sooner.
Yeah.
You know, a year sooner, 2 years sooner, 5 years sooner. I think most people, I still hear it. You probably hear it sometimes too, because I know you're active in the agent community. I hear, well, I don't know if it's sustainable, and they're not going to last. I think people don't realize eXp has been around for 11 years.
Yep.
11 years. It feels like it's brand new because it's got that. Now, we all know this in business. What happens? Like the groundwork gets laid, and then we get that hockey stick growth, right? That's what's happened. They built that 25-lane highway so that way we could have the type of growth that we have now. People underestimate that. They don't realize it's actually been in existence for well over 11 years now.
And the cool thing is not too late, because we're at the end of this year, we'll probably be around 42,000 agents. And we're going to grow to over 400,000, probably over 1 million agents worldwide. So we're still, people are going to be like, man, you were there when there was only, when I joined, there was 16,000.
Wow.
I think when you joined, there was about 18, 19,000.
Right.
People will be like, man, you were there when it was only 20,000. So this is the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is.
It is the future. And everybody needs to wake up and smell the coffee, because this is where it's going. And that going back to that custom builder saying at 70, so man, that's where it's going. You got to get on board with these things, or you're going to be left behind.
I'll tell you a little bit more about Will and Deb. So they're both registered nurses, okay? And the funny thing is, Will and Deb actually purchased a real estate company before he got his real estate license.
Yeah.
He kind of works in reverse.
Yeah.
And then everything catches up to
Yeah, you give me a good book, I'm going to read the end and see if I want to read the beginning.
Yeah.
And, I was in pharmaceutical sales, loving pharmaceutical sales, talking to the smartest people on the planet, the doctors, and I got laid off twice by the same company. Shame on them? No, actually, shame on me. And I'm stuck in this little town of Kingsland, like, what am I going to do now? I don't look good with the smiley face smock on my back. And I can't do all those things at the do-it-yourself home shops. And a friend of mine worked at a real estate company, and they're closing the door. And I said, well, let's buy it. She won't sell it. I went and asked her, will you sell this company to me? She goes, yeah. I bought it. And I thought, well.
But he comes home and he tells me, I just bought a real estate company. I go, oh, you did? He goes, I think I need to go get my real estate
But 10 years earlier, a friend of mine in San Antonio, she was started taking courses on real estate. And she said, take them with me. Predictions are you're going to get laid off if you're working for a corporation. Mm-hmm. I thought, nah. But I took 3 courses. And so when I bought the real estate company, I called up Texas Real Estate Commission. Hey, I just bought this real estate company. So you're not going to take my courses, would you? Oh, yeah, they're good. What? I'm trying to talk myself out of it now. And a month later, I got my license, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
we changed the name to Lake Life back in 2012 when I became the broker. And Lake Life means the lifestyle, the Lake Lifestyle. And I tell kids today that they don't know what they want to do when they grow up, and they don't no plans for college. What about HGTV? I watch those shows, Sell My House, listen. Oh yeah, I love it. if they can talk and chew gum and have some computer skills and converse with me on an intellectual level, I tell them about real estate and they're like, I never really thought of that. And bam, 20 years, 30 years, they're going to be on an island if they're with eXp, because they're going to have.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, you look at how many entrepreneurs come out of real estate, how many other businesses come out of, because some people get in and they just stay realtors, right? They just sell house. And listen, there's nothing wrong with it. I get it. Like I love real estate too. I like winning at the listing table, at the listing appointment, at that kitchen table. I get that. And I like the opportunity to have a high income, right? But what I love more is the business. And when you get into real estate, I think if you get around other folks like yourselves and Knolly and some of the folks I've been fortunate enough to be around, like Curtis Johnson and Jay Kinder and some other folks, like you start to realize, hey, there's business here. It's not just selling real estate. There's an opportunity to run a business. And so if you come into it with your eyes open, instead of with blinders on around what it's got to look like, you realize there's this whole other world open to you. And so I agree. This is a great industry, greatest industry on the planet, if you ask me. And we're with the best company, the greatest company in the greatest industry.
Yep. And it's true about, eXp, you can be just a plain realtor, which is, who would want to do that when we have all that eXp has to offer? And we, as a realtor, you should be an entrepreneur. And at the eXp, we have all the tools necessary at our disposal, and the opportunity to truly build wealth. And all these guys I've listened to in the past, they talk about, as a realtor, if you're not multiple streams of income, buying some of these investment properties or doing some of that, you're just going from deal to deal to deal.
Yep. And
there's going to be, a COVID going to hit, and now what are you going to do? There's a lot of people I know, their business stopped. eXp, we're cloud-based. We don't need an office. We don't need brick and mortar. We're rocking and rolling. And we're still building wealth with our stock and our revenue share. We're making money like Knolly, when he's sleeping, he's making money. So that's the opportunity we all have with eXp. A realtor, entrepreneur extraordinaire. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
A no-brainer. As Deb was saying, a no-brainer.
That's really what we wanted to share. Is 1 year later, can you still hear the excitement after a year? Because a lot of times people are like, well, will it last? Am I making the right decision? And I know even when I made the decision, I was like, man, I can't believe I'm doing this. But there was no other choice. It was like, and I prayed about it. We all love Jesus. Yeah. And so we prayed about it, and I was like, this is it. And I started as an entrepreneur at 13 years old. My first real business when I was 22, made my first $1 million at age 29. And I got to say, I've never seen ever any business like this ever in my business world. 3 best decisions I ever made. Number 1 was, finding Jesus. Okay. Jesus found me. Number 2, Josie.
Yeah.
Number 3, eXp. Yeah. I would say Kevin, but he got a big enough head, as you can see. But anyway.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you, Kevin, from the bottom of my heart, man. And I thank you for when you saw this model. You said you and Fred looked at each other and said, "Man, this would be perfect for Knolly Williams," and you were 100% right. I'm having fun again.
Yeah.
Can I tell this one last story? I mean,
bring us home, man.
When I made this decision, my top producer, Tony Pippinger, he is just golden. I mean, he is just a heart of gold. He's just a sweet guy. And I talked to him before I was going to tell everybody else. And he said, well, you're making the right decision. And I just wanted to retain him forever. He's just a great guy. He's a great friend and a great realtor. And everybody loves him. Everybody knows him. And so when he made Icon a month ago or so, I said, Tony, what do you think? Do we make the right decision? He goes, Will, thank you. And his daughter, Bailey, works with us. And he's like, you're a genius. And I go, no, we stepped out in faith. And he gets his 16,000. And it's like, man, he is so thankful. Because he was thinking, how can I angle? Because he was at 90-10. And he's like, man, I'm going to an 80-20. And within 6 weeks, he capped. So, I said, you're 100%, you're going to cap. And he'll probably end up doing, maybe if he sells all the ranches he has now, waterfront and ranch, he'll probably be $40 million producer just by himself.
Dang.
So yeah, the guy.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of your top producers leaving. They're going to see if it's presented right, talk to the right people. It's real. And he's like, thank you. You're a genius. And I'm like, nah, it wasn't me, man.
Another cool thing, I'm going to throw this out, is that Will and Deb are doing. They have lake life, and they specialize in lakefront and golf course. That's their specialty. Now they'll do other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but that's their specialty. And so they're actually going to take lake life and take it all around the nation. So there'll be, to the right spots.
Yeah.
There'll be lake life all over the place. And they're going to teach agents on the ground how to do what they do, sell the lake lifestyle and the golf course lifestyle, because that's the life they live. And so that's another thing that eXp is giving you the opportunity to do.
Cross borders, man. It's borderless.
Yeah.
Really awesome. And up here, it's mountain life.
I got to show them.
Yeah.
I know that there's independent broker. There's other independent brokers who are in the same position you guys were in just over a year ago, and they're all worried. Like, what will my agents leave? I have all these fixed costs. And the reality is they don't want to talk. Like, they'll talk to me and they'll talk to Knolly, but they want to talk to someone else who's actually been in their shoes. So,
right.
Will and Deb, like, what's the best way for those folks to reach out to you guys and connect with you?
Man, they can can I give my phone number?
Yeah, absolutely.
325-956-9987. 325-956-9987. And catch me on email, Will, W-I-L-L, @KRELBJ.com. I kept that because it's small versus the eXp.
I love it. All right.
Hey, we want to show you one more thing here.
Am I going to get to see the view?
Yeah, can you see that?
Oh yeah, man, that's terrible. No wonder you guys.
Yeah, boy. That's how they're hanging out. And when Josie takes everything literal. I'm gonna have to say this. Josie takes everything literal, and so when
don't be getting the rest of us in trouble with Josie right now with you now.
She's over there.
Don't take us down with you. She's gonna see the video.
Yeah, somehow when Deb posted, and we know people post things, hey, wish y'all were here, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was like, yeah, whatever. She was like, have you called him yet? I was like, what do you mean call him? Have you called Will? I was like, why would I call Will? Well, he said if we ever want to come up. I said, well, people say that. I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say it to her, but I'm like, yeah, that's just stuff we say on Facebook. He doesn't want us to, like, they're on vacation. She was like, then a week later, have you called him? Crap. So then I texted, he was like, yeah, come on up. I was like, oh crap, I done did it now.
Yeah. And we're on vacation, but we're working. I mean, it's like we're just working in the cool. When we go home on Monday, it's going to be 101. In this whole month of August, it's been 100. I would say on the average 103, 104 all month. That's why we go to the mountain, our office mountain, our mountain office, you might say.
I don't blame you.
This guy right here is one of the brightest minds that I've come across, and of course Deb as well. And if you're in real estate, you're thinking about maybe making a switch to eXp, or you're an independent broker and you want to, like, man, is this the real deal? You just heard from him, but give him a call, as he mentioned, or text. And have a conversation. I mean, that's where it all starts. Whether you ever join or not, you owe it to yourself and your agents to know about this model, and at least to know about what you're saying no to.
Right.
So I highly, highly, highly encourage you to call Will, because I have a strong feeling that, Will, you're going to be talking to more and more independent brokers, because you're living proof that this works.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much. Congrats. I can't wait to do this again next year.
We'll do it again next year.
We'll do the 2-year update then and go from there. So, guys, it's great chatting with you again, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, man. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.